A former intern is sharing stories about how Blake Lively made her cry.
As I walked out, I just started crying because I was afraid.
She and her husband are both.
Blake Lively found herself publicly embarrassed after crew members came forward, revealing how poorly she allegedly treated them during filming. What began as quiet whispers behind the scenes quickly turned into damaging accounts that painted a very different picture from her polished public image. As these revelations surfaced, the narrative shifted dramatically, placing Lively under intense scrutiny and sparking widespread debate about her behavior on set.
Getting a lot of hate.
For years, she allegedly demeaned, ridiculed, and undermined her junior co-stars, all while carefully maintaining the image of Hollywood's beloved Golden Girl. Behind the flawless red carpet smiles and carefully crafted charm, a far less flattering reputation was quietly taking shape, one that is only now beginning to surface.
A mean girl. This isn't a good person.
According to insiders, the moment anyone dared to question her or express an opinion she didn't like, their entire workday would instantly turn into a complete nightmare. What should have been a professional set allegedly became a tense environment where fear and frustration replaced collaboration, leaving many too intimidated to speak up.
First, I was so upset that they hired Penn for Gossip Girl, I actually poisoned the whole cast against him. Oh, how sweet.
Now, it's becoming increasingly clear that the Blake Lively the public believed to be Hollywood's sweetheart may not be nearly as charming once the cameras stop rolling. As more behind-the-scenes stories emerge, the carefully crafted image begins to crack, revealing a side that fans were never meant to see.
It'll be very difficult for anyone to ever work with Blake Lively ever again.
With her legal fight against Justin Baldoni spiraling out of control, more people are stepping forward to expose what they claim is the real Blake Lively. Instead of the image built on sunshine smiles and designer gowns, she's now being portrayed as a calculated PR machine, driven by a deep sense of entitlement, one that many insiders say they recognize all too well.
Fucking
Mean Girl,
me.
yeah.
Also,
Wasn't she in Mean Girl?
Yeah, she
No,
was.
she was.
Wait.
No, she wasn't. That's
Gossip Girl.
She was in Gossip.
Oh, Gossip Girl.
One of the earliest blows to her image reportedly came from a Gossip Girl crew member named Ewood. Not an industry heavyweight, just someone doing his job like everyone else. Yet witnesses claim that was enough for Blake Lively to repeatedly ignore him. Matters escalated during a live event when she allegedly addressed him directly using the word monkey, a moment many present described as openly disrespectful. According to those in attendance that day, the incident left a lasting impression and marked an early crack in her carefully maintained public image.
Watching Pet Monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them.
While Leighton Meester and the rest of the cast reportedly treated the crew with basic respect, Blake Lively allegedly behaved as if they were invisible, offering no nods, no greetings, nothing at all, as though they were merely background furniture unworthy of acknowledgement. When she did speak, witnesses claim her tone was so condescending, it made even simple interactions uncomfortable. And if things didn't go her way, insiders say she made sure the entire set felt her displeasure.
Poisoning the whole cast.
But the real shock, according to insiders, was that she wasn't just distant. She allegedly attempted to undermine Leighton Meester as well, despite Meester's reputation for being warm and approachable, something witnesses say did not sit well with Blake Lively at all. This reportedly fueled passive-aggressive jabs and even jokes about Meester's appearance, behavior many found especially troubling coming from a supposed co-star rather than a high school bully. According to these accounts, the pattern didn't end with the Gossip Girl years, but has followed her for years since.
Other footage is coming out of Blake Lively admitting, hey, when I get involved with projects, they hire me as the actress, and sometimes I don't really tell them, but I actually want to come in and I want to rewrite it, and I want to be a producer, and I want to do all of these things.
For years, few dared to call her out, protected by what many saw as the ultimate Hollywood shield, her marriage to Ryan Reynolds, deep media connections, and a keen understanding of how to work the industry's PR machine. But now, with her legal battle against Justin Baldoni beginning to unravel, insiders finally seem bold enough to spill the tea, and this time they're holding nothing back.
Starter, she was sitting there. I think she was probably 8 months pregnant. She had it wasn't a small bump even. It was quite.
The baby on the way. Congratulations.
What makes you say that?
The shark told me.
You don't ever.
Hollywood isn't buying it anymore. The same industry that once shielded her now appears to be watching her unravel like a reality TV spectacle as more crew members, co-stars, and insiders come forward with accounts of manipulative and entitled behavior. It's a stark contrast to the sweet, funny, relatable Blake Lively fans once adored. And according to those behind the scenes, that version was never the one they had to endure.
Probably have diapers in the car. Honestly, I have
That would help.
kids that I could just give you some of those.
Thank you.
The diapers.
And it isn't just the Gossip Girl set. Stories are now surfacing from other movie sets, press tours, and interviews, all painting a similar picture. A woman obsessed with control, maneuvering the media like a high-stakes game of chess.
He's my girlfriend.
Hi, Stephanie. You should leave him.
Hollywood is full of actors who can smile flawlessly for the cameras. But behind closed doors, the act doesn't always hold up. Now, for the first time, the world is getting a glimpse of the Blake Lively that Hollywood insiders have long known.
Of having turned the whole cast of It Ends With Us against Justin. By the time they premiered the movie, Ryan Reynolds had unfollowed him on Insta, so had Blake, so had the rest of the cast.
What happened to Justin is particularly heartbreaking because, according to sources, this wasn't some thoughtless joke or harmless prank by Blake Lively. Instead, it allegedly had devastating consequences, ultimately costing him his entire career.
Baldoni purchased the rights to the book, It Ends With Us. He is the producer, director, and one of the lead actors.
Justin Baldoni spent years bringing It Ends With Us to life, securing the rights, pouring his heart into the script, and ensuring the adaptation honored Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. This was meant to be his film, his vision, a project he had nurtured from the very start. But then Blake Lively entered the set, allegedly acting as if she owned it, and suddenly everything seemed to revolve around her.
For every single aspect of the movie was really aimed at, providing education and insight and relating to the stories of what women go through when they experience DV. She made it a lighthearted.
From the moment she signed on, Blake Lively allegedly made it her personal mission to take over the entire production. Reports from Forbes claim she demanded major script changes, pushing through rewrites that significantly altered key themes from the original book.
She filed a lawsuit before actually having clear evidence, and we're supposed to just continue to believe.
What was meant to be a raw and emotional portrayal of domestic violence reportedly began to feel more like a Blake Lively self-promotion showcase. Insiders say she constantly clashed with Justin Baldoni, acting as if she knew more about filmmaking than the director himself.
Through it, they're seeing through the BS, and at the end of the day, they're the ones who are seeking gag orders against Baldoni from releasing information, whereas his team is saying, nope, let's put out everything.
And this wasn't merely her offering suggestions. She was making demands. Reports indicate that Justin Baldoni was gradually pushed out of key creative decisions, his control over the project stripped away piece by piece, while Blake Lively allegedly took over nearly every aspect of the production.
that's exactly what happened. He didn't even get to see the final cut of the movie.
Get out of here.
Because Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds came in with their own team, their own editors. They completely hijacked this.
Even the final cut of the film, which should have been entirely the director's decision, was reportedly taken from Justin Baldoni's hands. Instead of the version he had spent years perfecting, one that honored the book's emotional depth, Blake Lively allegedly had it edited by her own hand-picked team, reshaping the entire film to fit her image.
As Blake Lively had alienated the entire cast against him. She had convinced everyone that he was this monster, this terrible person, so she could wield all creative control of the movie and end up getting her final cut of the movie, not Justin.
But the real insult, according to insiders, came at the film's premiere. Normally, when a director has dedicated years to a project, they're front and center, celebrating their work, standing alongside the cast, and soaking in the moment.
She made him and his whole family go down to the basement.
Go down to the basement during the premiere of his movie. He literally was not even allowed to be at the premiere of his own movie.
The director of the film was reportedly reduced to an afterthought at his own movie's premiere, sidelined while Blake Lively and her PR team took center stage, dominating the event. Sources say she controlled the spotlight, dictated the interviews, and ensured all attention remained on her, leaving the man who had spent years bringing the project to life overshadowed and marginalized.
Thing. She wanted to talk about, oh, wear your florals, and she used it as an opportunity to promote her alcohol brand, which is insane because many people know that alcoholism really fuels DV as well. So it was completely turned.
And if that wasn't enough, Blake Lively reportedly wasn't just promoting the movie. She had another agenda. Sources claim she used the film's press tour to push her alcohol brand, Betty Booze. Consider the tone-deaf contrast. A movie centered on domestic violence meant to highlight the struggles of abuse survivors allegedly turned into a marketing opportunity for her beverage line.
And in response to this, what she did was she created a smear campaign against Baldoni, stating that actually he was making a smear campaign against her. And that's the reason why she had all of this negative backlash.
Red carpets, press interviews, social media. Blake Lively reportedly made sure to tie the movie's release to Betty Booze at every opportunity. And if the irony wasn't striking enough, alcohol is a major contributing factor in many domestic violence cases, making the promotion all the more tone-deaf, according to insiders.
Important story. I know you don't give a shit about it, but this is such an important story. Because if they would have won against him, a guy whose dream was to be a Hollywood actor, producer, director, they could have crushed his career.
Twitter and Reddit erupted almost instantly, with fans calling Blake Lively out for her controversial behavior. Users highlighted just how wildly inappropriate it was to use a film about abuse victims as a vehicle to promote alcohol. One viral tweet even compared the move to using a cancer awareness campaign to sell cigarettes, capturing the sheer absurdity of the situation. The backlash was swift, brutal, and entirely justified, spreading across social media like wildfire. Fans dissected every red carpet appearance, every press interview, and every social media post tied to the movie and Betty Booze. Hashtags criticizing her tone-deaf promotion trended within hours. Influencers, film critics, and everyday viewers all weighed in, calling the marketing stunt a shocking misstep. Conversations about the film itself were drowned out by outrage over her priorities. Even those who admired her acting questioned her judgment and ethics. It became clear that for many, this incident marked a turning point in how Blake Lively was publicly perceived.
Herself to Khaleesi. I believe she has dragons. She's like, I have dragons just like Khaleesi. I have Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. They were doing everything they could to intimidate this guy, who is a much smaller actor than Blake Lively.
And just like that, the movie's entire promotional campaign reportedly descended into a full-blown PR nightmare. But instead of taking responsibility, Blake Lively allegedly did what she often does: flipped the narrative. As criticism poured in, sources say she cast herself as the victim, subtly implying in interviews that Justin Baldoni was the real problem. She positioned herself as the one fighting for creative control, conveniently ignoring the fact that, according to insiders, she had already seized it.
He's finished. He's done. Like in Hollywood, nobody's gonna touch him. So that person that you're talking about, it's him.
Kevin
His
Spacey
dreams,
will.
everything that he's done. And then Amy, just really fast, can you go back to the editing process? There was text messages where the editor was like to him.
By the time production wrapped, the power struggle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni had reportedly become one of Hollywood's worst-kept secrets. Multiple reports confirmed their working relationship had completely collapsed, with insiders suggesting that Baldoni tried to push back, but with Lively's powerful connections and media influence, he allegedly didn't stand a chance. Then came Lively's damage control efforts. Ironically, according to sources, the only real damage appeared to have been done to Baldoni.